On August 27, 1979, Deputy Sheriff Val Johnson was attacked by a glowing orb. Johnson was driving his patrol car on the backcountry roads outside of Stephen, Minnesota. You can literally go on Google Maps and realize that it's flat and there's nothing there, and it was probably even more so back in 1979. At around 2 a.m., Johnson saw a distant light in the night sky, and again, there's nothing in the way of his view. There's no tall buildings, there's nothing. He turned down State Highway 220. Sheriff Johnson thought that it might be a plane that was in distress and possibly crashing down into one of the fields around him. But this light came at him instead. This ball of light came crashing straight into his car. Johnson heard a glass breaking and then lost consciousness. When Johnson regained consciousness, the first thing he noticed was that his car was wrecked. The front windshield had a ball shape smashed into it. There were dents all over the front of the car. The antenna was broken. The front headlights were broken. He was also 854 feet down the road than where he had started, and his car had turned towards oncoming traffic. Johnson then realized that he had been unconscious for almost 40 minutes, and both his wristwatch and the clock in his car were behind 14 minutes. Johnson had lost time. He then, of course, called his station, stating, "Something attacked my car. It wasn't a vehicle. I don't know what the hell it was." He was then taken to a hospital in the nearby town of Warren, Minnesota. He was treated for his injuries there, including head trauma and burns around his eyes that the doctor could only describe as welder's burn. Of course, the Marshall County Sheriff's Office conducted an investigation. They contacted the Air Force and FAA and confirmed that no aircraft were in the area at the time. The Center for UFO Studies even came out and conducted tests on the car, which all came out inconclusive. Of course, Val Johnson got a lot of attention from this incident, even making it onto daytime morning shows. And eventually this became too much for him and his family, and they ended up moving out of town, wanting to get back to normal life away from the UFO hysteria. But now his patrol car sits in the Marshall County Historical Museum, left exactly the way it was on that night over 40 years ago. And this remains one of the most credible UFO incidences in America. Remember to always watch the sky when you're on those backcountry roads.